"Well," said the baron. He dealt out the cards. 8, said Sernine. 9, said the baron, laying his cards down. Sernine turned on his heels, muttering: "That cost me 300 louis, but I don't mind. It fixes him here." 10 minutes later his motor set him down in front of 29, Villa Dupont, and he found the Doudevilles and their men collected in the hall. "Have you hunted out the old boy?" "No." "Dash it! But he must be somewhere or other. Where are the 4 servants?" "Over there, in the pantry, tied up, with the cook as well." "Good. I would as soon they did not see me. Go, all you others. Jean, stay outside and keep watch. Jacques, show me over the house." He quickly ran through the cellar, the ground floor, the first and second floors and the attic. He practically stopped nowhere, knowing that he would not discover in a few minutes what his men had not been able to discover in 3 hours. But he carefully noted the shape and the arrangement of the rooms, and looked for some little detail which would put him on the scent. When he had finished, he returned to a bedroom which Doudeville had told him was Altenheim's, and examined it attentively. "This will do," he said, raising a curtain that concealed a dark closet, full of clothes. "From here I can see the whole of the room." "But if the baron searches the house?" "Why should he?" "He will know that we have been here." "Through his servants." "Yes, but he will never dream that one of us is putting up here for the night. He will think that the attempt failed, that is all. So I shall stay." "And how will you get out?" "Oh, that's asking me more than I can tell you. The great thing was to get in. Here I am and here I stay. Go, Doudeville, and shut the doors as you go." He sat down on a little box at the back of the cupboard. 4 little rows of hanging clothes protected him. Except in the case of a close investigation, he was evidently quite safe. 2 hours passed. He heard the dull sound of a horse's hoofs and the tinkling of a collar bell. A carriage stopped, the front door slammed and almost immediately he heard voices, exclamations, a regular outcry that increased, probably, as each of the prisoners was released from his gag. "They are explaining the thing to him," he thought. "The baron must be in a tearing rage. He now understands the reason for my conduct at the club to night, and sees that I have dished him nicely. Dished? That depends. After all, I haven't got Steinweg yet. That is the first thing that he will want to know. Did they get Steinweg? To find this out, he will go straight to the hiding place. If he goes up, it means that the hiding place is upstairs. If he goes down, then it is in the basement." He listened. The sound of voices continued in the rooms on the ground floor. But it did not seem as if any one were moving. Altenheim must be cross-examining his confederates. It was half an hour before Sernine heard steps mounting the staircase. "Then it must be upstairs," he said to himself. "But why did they wait so long?" "Go to bed, all of you," said Altenheim's voice. The baron entered his room with one of his men and shut the door. "And I am going to bed too, Dominique. We should be no further if we sat arguing all night." "My opinion is," said the other, "that he came to fetch Steinweg." "That is my opinion too; and that's why I'm really enjoying myself, seeing that Steinweg isn't here." "But where is he, after all? What have you done with him?" "That's my secret, and you know I keep my secrets to myself. All that I can tell you is that he is in safe keeping, and that he won't get out before he has spoken." "So the prince is sold?" "Sold is the word. And he has had to fork out to attain this fine result. Oh, I've had a good time to night! Poor prince!" "For all that," said the other, "we shall have to get rid of him." "Make your mind easy, old man. That won't take long. Before a week's out, you shall have a present of a pocket book, made out of lupin skin. Let me go to bed now. I'm dropping with sleep." There was a sound of the door closing. Then Sernine heard the baron push the bolt, empty his pockets, wind up his watch and undress. He seemed in a gay mood, whistling and singing, and even talking aloud. Yes, a lupin skin pocket book. In less than a week. In less than 4 days. Otherwise he'll eat us up, the bully. No matter, he missed his shot to night. His calculation was right enough, though. Steinweg was bound to be here. Only there you are. He got into bed and at once switched off the light. Sernine had come forward as far as the dividing curtain, which he now lifted slightly, and he saw the vague light of the night filtering through the windows, leaving the bed in profound darkness. He hesitated. Should he leap out upon the baron, take him by the throat and obtain from him by force and threats what he had not been able to obtain by craft? Absurd? Altenheim would never allow himself to be intimidated. "I say, he's snoring now," muttered Sernine. "Well, I'm off. At the worst, I shall have wasted a night." He did not go. He felt that it would be impossible for him to go, that he must wait, that chance might yet serve his turn. With infinite precautions, he took 4 or 5 coats and greatcoats from their hooks, laid them on the floor, made himself comfortable and, with his back to the wall, went peacefully to sleep. The baron was not an early riser. A clock outside was striking 9 when he got out of bed and rang for his servant. He read the letters which his man brought him, splashed about in his tub, dressed without saying a word, and sat down to his table to write, while Dominique was carefully hanging up the clothes of the previous day in the cupboard, and Sernine asking himself, with his fists ready to strike, "I wonder if I shall have to stave in this fellow's solar plexus?" At 10 o'clock the baron was ready. "Leave me," said he to the servant. "There's just this waistcoat. Leave me, I say. Come back when I ring, not before." He shut the door himself, like a man who does not trust others, went to a table on which a telephone was standing, and took down the receiver. "Hullo! Put me on to Garches, please, mademoiselle." "Very well, I'll wait till you ring me up." He sat down to the instrument. The telephone bell rang. "Hullo!" said Altenheim. "Is that Garches?" "Yes, that's right. Give me number 38, please, mademoiselle." A few seconds later, in a lower voice, as low and as distinct as he could make it, he began: "Are you 38? It's I speaking. No useless words." "Yesterday? Yes, you missed him in the garden. Another time, of course. But the thing's becoming urgent. He had the house searched last night. I'll tell you about it. Found nothing, of course." "What?" "Hullo?" "No, old Steinweg refuses to speak. Threats, promises, nothing's any good. Hullo? Yes, of course, he sees that we can do nothing. We know just a part of the Kesselbach scheme and of the story of Pierre Leduc. He's the only one who has the answer to the riddle. Oh, he'll speak all right, that I'll answer for. This very night, too. If not. What? Well, what can we do? Anything rather than let him escape. Do you want the police to bag him from us? As for the prince, we shall have to cook his goose in 3 days from now." "You have an idea?" "Yes, that's a good idea. Oh, excellent! I'll see to it. When shall we meet? Will Tuesday do?" "Right you are. I'll come on Tuesday." "At 2 o'clock. Good bye." He replaced the receiver and went out. A few hours later, while the servants were at lunch, Prince Sernine strolled quietly out of the Villa Dupont, feeling rather faint in the head and weak in the knees, and while making for the nearest restaurant he thus summed up the situation: "So, on Tuesday next, Altenheim and the Palace Hotel murderer have an appointment at Garches, in a house with the telephone number 38. On Tuesday, therefore, I shall hand over the 2 criminals to the police and set M. Lenormand at liberty. In the evening, it will be old Steinweg's turn; and I shall learn, at last, whether Pierre Leduc is the son of a pork butcher or not, and whether he will make a suitable husband for Geneviève. So be it." At 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning, Valenglay, the prime minister, sent for the prefect of police and M. Weber, the deputy chief of the detective service, and showed them an express letter which he had just received. "Monsieur le Président du Conseil, knowing the interest which you take in M. Lenormand, I am writing to inform you of certain facts which chance has revealed to me. M. Lenormand is locked up in the cellars of the Villa des Glycines at Garches, near the House of Retreat. The ruffians of the Palace Hotel have resolved to murder him at 2 o'clock to day. If the police require my assistance, they will find me at 1:30 in the garden of the House of Retreat, or at the garden house occupied by Mrs. Kesselbach, whose friend I have the honour to be. I am, Monsieur le Président du Conseil, your obedient servant, Prince Sernine." "This is an exceedingly grave matter, my dear M. Weber," said Valenglay. "I may add that we can have every confidence in the accuracy of Prince Sernine's statements. I have often met him at dinner. He is a serious, intelligent man." "Will you allow me, Monsieur le Président," asked the deputy chief detective, "to show you another letter which I also received this morning?" "About the same case?" "Yes." "Let me see it." He took the letter and read: "Sir, this is to inform you that Prince Paul Sernine, who calls himself Mrs. Kesselbach's friend, is really Arsène Lupin. One proof will be sufficient: Paul Sernine is the anagram of Arsène Lupin. Not a letter more, not a letter less. L.M." And Mr. Weber added, while Valenglay stood amazed: "This time, our friend Lupin has found an adversary who is a match for him. While he denounces the other betrays him to us. And the fox is caught in the trap. What do you propose to do?" "Monsieur le Président, I shall take 200 men with me." CHAPTER VIII.